Back now at 8:35 this morning on Take It Off Today, DNA and your diet. Genetics plays an important role in diseases such as breast cancer and osteoporosis, but what about the growing epidemic of obesity? Madeline Fernstrom is today's diet and nutrition editor. Madeline, good morning to you.
Good morning, Ann.
So the question I think people are starting to ask, because this is relatively new research that's been coming out, is there something, are there some people who are genetically more predisposed to obesity than others?
Right. Predisposed to obesity is a good way to say this. We know all about the environment. Certainly that contributes. But there are biological factors that are hardwired in your DNA that can make it easier to gain weight. Now, that used to be a good thing when we were hunter-gatherers and there weren't supermarkets. If you had the ability to store extra fat, you'd be a survivor in times of famine. But now, when food is around everywhere, that can actually work against you and make it easier to lose weight.
And there isn't one specific, according to scientists, fat gene, but there are 30 or a bunch of,
There are a bunch of genetic markers that contribute to this.
And what do they do exactly?
Okay, this is a good question because we hear about genes in your DNA. What does this mean? It means how your body is processing food, how you store fat, how you break it down, the brain chemistry that says, am I hungry, am I full, the relationship of insulin and glucose, how this sensitivity arises. So all of these factors from head to toe are all connected to DNA and to these kinds of genetic changes. And so these are the things that contribute to weight later in life.
So a person who has a lot of these factors, a lot of these genetic markings, you're saying, is going to have a tougher time.
They may have a tougher time. It doesn't mean you're destined to be severely obese, but it does mean that it may be harder to maintain a healthier weight.
Mm-hmm. And what else are scientists saying that we might want to know so we can understand this better?
The most interesting thing is a group of Stanford scientists had taken some people and put them on 4 different regular diet plans. This is actually a very well-known study, and as you might imagine, everyone lost weight when they cut calories. When they went back and then partnered with Inherent Health, one of the DNA marker test companies, to take a cheek swab and say, let's look at some genetic markers and put people in a diet group where you'd think it would optimize their weight loss. They did lose more weight compared to when they were just randomly assigned to a plain diet. So things like how your fat is broken down, how it's going to be stored, these are genetic markers that indicate a high-fat diet, a low-fat diet, what kind of exercise you should do, are all going to help to do this. So you can optimize your weight loss if you know a little bit about your genetic background.
Then you need to find out then about your genetic background so that you can optimize this, right? So how do you find out about it?
You want to find out about it by looking in your family tree. But be honest and say, well, if we're big eaters, we eat a lot of do a lot of restaurant eating, things that are going to say we have social habits that make us heavier. But if you're really doing all the right things and have healthful habits and you're a little heavier, then sort of reset your goals. Talk to your doctor about a healthy weight for you, because even in that BMI, the height to weight ratio, there's about a 30 or 40 pound range that keeps you healthy. So make realistic expectations. Don't try and be, as thin as possible. That's not the goal. You want to be healthy.
But also, does this also tell us that it's true what we also hear, that some diets might work better for some people and other diets might work better for other people? In other words, that no one diet is for everyone.
Right. When it comes to diets, one size does not fit all. You do need to trim calories, but if you vary the kind of nutrients you have, whether it's carbohydrate or fat or protein, to optimize how your body is utilizing them, that can give you the advantage if you had that genetic predisposition to gain weight.
So if you've got obesity, I'm thinking about the people now who are really struggling with obesity in their family, especially now think about it in their kids.
Right.
And they really want, and if they suspect, looking back in their family history, that there is a genetic predisposition, then what is the most important thing that they can do?
Okay, is be positive. You're not doomed to failure if you have sort of heavy genes, but you want to start early, even in the womb, the first environment. Eat properly. Pregnant moms, don't gain too much weight. In your infants and children, feed them moderately. A big, jolly, heavy baby is not a happy or healthy baby necessarily, but be mindful. The same kinds of things apply for children and adults. Lots of colorful vegetables, low fat intake, moderate protein. Be mindful and always be active.
So it sounds like this gives people direction, as well as I suppose, a degree of self-acceptance, because you're basically saying that this new science is saying part of this is just how it is supposed to be.
Accept yourself, be healthy. It's not as thin as you can be.
All right. Madeline Fernstrom, thank you so much this morning. Some good information.